First of all, and I'm pretty sure most gaming enthusiasts know about the project already, we have what is described as a fast-paced strategy combat game, but what looks to be a Dead Rising meet Grand Theft Auto Nier Automata sort of mix. Showa American Story that was announced no more than a whole month ago by the Chinese developer and publishers is rumored to be coming to PCs and the PlayStation consoles only, which we did already know, but either late 2022 or early 2023. Take a look. Tiny bit over a month ago, although I just found out about this one myself, Illusion Lens came our way as a brand new third-person slasher at its core, but we can also use magic like the old Skyrim or the Witcher games. This reveal came around with a whole minute of the game's gameplay, and the news that we will soon have a free demo available for it on Steam, and here it is in case you've missed it too. We have the day before, which is slated to release on PCs June 21st this year. But nonetheless, specifically for those of you new, we're talking about an open world MMO survival game, a lot in the same vein as a Division game and The Last of Us. One could almost say it's just the perfect marriage of the two franchises. That is, with the elements of both PvE, of course, and PvP. Now there's quite the hype around this one. This trailer over here showcases what the zombies in the environment will then look like with NVIDIA, ray tracing, and some more. Check it out.
Kings, barons, queens. We give them different names, but they're all the same. Killing machines falling from the sky. This is our home.
Now, I have mentioned this one a dozen lists already. If you do like free-to-play games, which is in most cases a success when it comes to actual gameplay, do make sure to keep an eye out for Arc Raiders, a co-op action shooter, or what y'all might be familiar with as a battle royale, set in a sci-fi post-apocalyptic universe with a raid-based system. Check it out. This game is due out to next generation platforms and PCs sometime later this year.
Oh, it's on.
Scout ahead.
Right there. Shit! Too many of them. Fall back. Now! Look out!
We have Choo Choo Charles, which is still one of the most talked about horror games in the making, besides the not so distant Dying Light 2 on the way. But what is touted as an open world survival game in which you play a train operator that has to deal with this evil locomotive. When it's not just Charles, I've just learned there's even more enemies in the game. Now you can follow Choo Choo Charles through its developer's YouTube channel, so just remember, this game's set to be coming out in only a few months from now. Here.
All the hollow. For too long I've been halted. For too long I've hesitated.
Nature Warriors, on the other hand, which, by the way, besides this gameplay trailer that we got earlier, has nothing to require for further updates, but just for the sake of the effort the developers have put here, is a game described as a hack and slasher and an open world game partly, where you will play as only animals whose species are in danger of extinction. The rest I think you'd pretty much get the hang of by just a trailer, so just keep in mind, a release of Nature Warriors is also yet to be announced. Talking about games that are actually delayed with a lot of hype around them. Boundary, which is a tactical shooter, zero gravity kind of experience, as you can tell from the real good Chinese developer's Surgical Scalpels, that was supposed to be released a few months ago, will just postpone to an unspecified release date for later this year, and into the PlayStation consoles and PCs only. The good news, I would assume, is to just accompany the news, they also came up with another trailer, just in case you're actually new here. On second hand, we have Dokei V, that despite one might think just by looking at the thing, developer folks came out and said that this game is not an MMO, but a creature collecting open world action-adventure. But yes, this was originally marketed as an MMORPG, but no more. I don't know if that's a good thing, but nonetheless, it is actually shaping up to be a pretty exciting project, especially at the moment. What we do know is that this game is coming to PCs and consoles both generation, possibly late 2022. Check it out.
Day for dower. Investors need to take a big leap of faith that the millennials and later generations will forego ownership of a synthetic.
Publishers Wanted Industries, right now one of the best, about a few months ago, in addition to a few other games, revealed the third-person action shooter slasher going by Wanted Dead, and about 10 seconds of its gameplay. Just for those of you who are waiting to hear more, we just learned this one's also coming out later this year and into both consoles and also PCs, so keep it in mind.
To get out of here. I know that your schedule is super busy these days, but maybe you'd care to listen.
Stranding us in these realms, we have searched for a way home.
Lost and alone in the dangerous labyrinth of fantastical worlds. Welcome to the lands of Fae.
A tiny bit over a month ago, at the Game Awards, we did come across a huge amount of surprise hits, like the Matrix games and whatnot. Nightingale over here, however, was what I'd like to think the most standout title when it comes to innovation. See, the upcoming game, Nightingale over here, is a first-person shooter, but it's a crafting game. It's got some co-op gameplay, but it's some sort of an open-world game, so it is something. Check it out in case you missed it. This game is coming in later this year and at the moment coming to PCs only.
Nightingale, our beacon of hope. But beyond our reach, as long as we stand together, our journey will unite us.
Well, the Access Unseen, on the other hand, from earlier just this past December, to be fair, one of the most visually stunning surprises out of nowhere. What we came to learn soon after to be an open world horror hunting game. We're looking pretty similar to another upcoming game going by Sons of the Forest, but also Skyrim and Hellblade. Tones in there infused with a heavy metal soundtrack, which is insane. Now check it out. This game is coming to PCs only with a release date yet to be announced. guys, y'all know Fable, right? The series of action RPGs going back to almost 20 years ago? If not, we'll just look it up. What we do have here is a Fable-inspired game on the way going by Bramble, the Mountain King, from only a few months ago. This game is touted as a horror adventure only at the moment and is set to come out mid to late 2022 and into PCs, consoles except Switch. This is how the game actually looks like. Well, Bitcraft, on the other hand, announced nearly 4 months ago, is a procedurally generated sandbox MMORPG, currently being developed by Clockwork Labs, an indie studio with a pre-alpha stage set to be coming our way really soon. Now, another thing is that this game is actually labeled as a new kind of MMORPG. I was actually pretty excited when the game was announced. Technically speaking, besides the trailer, that is all we do know. This game in its full is also set to come out next year.
You can engage with various people. Sometimes to buy goods, or simply ask for directions.
Little Devil Inside is, well, has been for quite a while one of the most anticipated indie games of 2022, actually 2021 earlier. Now stay with me, this game is an open world RPG at heart, but one that comes with an insane amount of creativity out of any developer, except I would have to say again upon Interactive. Now, this is how the game actually looks like. Specifically for those of you who actually missed out, I highly recommend checking it out. The game is also coming out mid to late this year and into both generation of consoles in addition to PCs and also the Nintendo Switch.
Looks like they have arrived near their destination. Billy heads towards an eerie-looking mansion to fulfill his simple task, of course. He's greeted by who seems like the owner. The job is to pick up a mysterious artifact and deliver it to Professor Vincent. Looks like it's kept in the mansion's basement, leaving behind the unsettling signs on the wall. Billy enters the basement chamber. Well, it turns out that the job is not going to be so simple after all. Ever since leaving the mansion, strange-looking creatures constantly appear. Here he is surrounded by a mob, striking and sticking the blade into enemies to pull and throw them around.
On the other hand, we have Stray, which is a third-person adventure game where the player takes control of a stray cat. Basically, in a post-apocalyptic premise of an open-world setting, where robots have taken over people. This game's even partly puzzle and exploration based and one of the biggest projects Annapurna Interactive is developing at the moment. Check it out, it's now targeting the PlayStation 4 and 5 in addition to PCs, probably next month. Without a doubt, one of the most fun games you can play right now, even though it's still in its early access phase. Hellish Quart, which most of you probably already know about, is a 1 vs 1, if preferred, sword fighting game, one of the best of its kind, only lacking a proper online multiplayer, I would have to say, to be fair, but nonetheless a damn fine experience in its entirety. Here it is, full game is coming in sometime later this year.
From the past, nothing can come back.
Come to mention the really vast amount of projects in the making using Unreal Engine 4 or 5. We have Subhuman, or Phobos Subhuman was described as a story-rich action-adventure from almost an entire year ago as the first part of a 2-game series and taking place in the year 2047. Check it out, that's all we know, and the fact that the game is coming to PCs finally in its full, or at least that's what we're hearing, in about a month from now. Now, Teardown, then, which you'll probably have a clue already at this point, but just in case you are new, is a voxel destruction game that came our way almost 3 years ago and it's been available since last year. What's even described as a survival horror sim by some critics, but anyway. The game is having itself a huge patch to come out soon and a finished product we hear sometime this year, and also here's a new trailer.